I want to talk with you about co-creation and the misunderstanding that I have been noticing. And noticing as well why it often takes longer to create what we desire to experience than what is actually possible, what is actually available for us. And in this video, I want to talk with you about co-creation, the creation with the divine, with the universe, with the field, with God, however you want to call it. Co-creation means that you are going to do your part. And your part means you show up as it now. What I'm noticing, and what I know for myself pretty well, we are giving away our power. We are giving away our power to a higher power, to the universe, to God, to the field, saying, okay, now you do it. And we're sitting there waiting and wondering why nothing is happening, why it's not happening. So then all our focus, all our energy goes towards why isn't it happening? The reason why it isn't happening is because you gave your creative power away. You're just sitting there waiting for it to happen instead of actually making it happen. So then co-creation means that you are actually doing your part. What does it mean doing your part? You showing up as it. What does it mean showing up as it? You are assuming that which you desire is already fulfilled. That's the first step. The second step is you are assuming that you are already it. The version of you, the identity, the self that already experiences, that has already experienced the desire that you're longing for. The third step is you're showing up as it over and over and over and over again. So that is your part. And that's a part that you don't do just one time or two times or, I don't know, for a week, and then you stop doing it and going back to the old. Because this is what's happening quite often. We start doing it, we're very, very enthusiastic, very excited, very passionate about that new reality, about that desire, about experiencing it. It starts very well. We're plugged in, we're feeling it, we're in it. But then nothing happens. That's what we think, nothing is happening. Because it's happening all the time. And you're fueling up that creation, that invisible creation. You're fueling up with your energy, with your awareness, every single moment. So then what matters is, how are you showing up right now? And what I notice and what I know, when it is not happening in a way that we want it to happen, in a way that our mind imagines it, it has to happen like that. We move into frustration, we move into waiting, we move into it's not working. You're still showing up, but not with that excitement, not with that enthusiasm, not with that passion anymore. So what's often happening then is that underneath you doing it is like the subconscious belief, it's not happening anyway. So what's happening? You're moving into the victim. You're moving into the victim mode and you're like, okay, now you do it, universe. Now you do it, God. Now please do what you gotta do. I want to experience it now. Just like a little child. When it wants something and it doesn't get it, it's like, that tantrum. And then the universe, God, the field is speaking to you, sending you signs. these soul nudges, these intuitive hints that you're receiving all the time, being guided magically to experience the limitless, to experience yourself beyond anything you've ever experienced before. But you don't listen. You don't pay attention because you're too focused on waiting, moving back into the old. And then all you're getting is the old stuff. And you keep doubting more, you keep questioning more, you keep being even more frustrated. And here I want to remind you again to move back to the 3 steps. The first step, the assumption your desire is already fulfilled. So how do you feel when your desire is already being fulfilled, when it's already fulfilled? The second step, who are you when the desire is already fulfilled? How do you feel? How do you act? How do you think? But therefore, I want you to move into that first assumption over and over and over again. The desire is already fulfilled. That's the first assumption that you move back into over and over and over again. Because when you are assuming that it's already fulfilled, you are automatically moving into a different state. You're elevating your consciousness immediately. And all you got to do is you got to stay in there, in that state. And the more you're staying in there, the faster it's happening. It's that easy. So then, second step, you showing up as it. When you are assuming that it's already done, the second step is you are assuming that you are already it. That's also something that you can simply claim. I am it. I am it. I am it right now. And yes, it takes power to claim it over and over again, even though out there you don't see any proof that you're it actually. But this is the limitless. This is the impossible. This is playing with the invisible. This is playing with the field, with the universe, with God. This is it. You showing up as it, even though there are no evidences out there yet. So then in the background, the energies, they are kind of like aligning. And you think nothing is happening. You keep yourself busy with nothing is happening. You keep waiting. But it's actually already happening. It's happening for you every moment. But the thing is, you can't see it. Because you're too busy focusing. It's not working. So then the next step is you staying. Even though there's no evidence out there yet. Knowing it's already done. Because it is already done. There are infinite possibilities out there in the field, in the universe, however you want to call it. And every potential already exists right now. So all you're doing is you are fueling up that potential, that desire. You're fueling it up with your energy, with your awareness, with your actions. And the more you fuel it up, the more it becomes visible. So you receive little hints. It's actually working. And then all of a sudden, bam, it's there magically. But then in order for you to experience the magic, to experience the limitless, to make the invisible visible, you have to show up as it now at every moment. And therefore you can't be sitting there waiting for it to happen. You have to act. And when I'm talking about acting, I am talking about aligned action. Aligned action, there's such a difference between acting from that old state of yours and acting from the state where the desire is already fulfilled, where you are already it. You are when you're acting from that second state, you're plugged into source, believe me. You don't think about anymore what else you can do because it's already done. All by a sudden you have like these other ideas. What else is possible? And then you start acting on these kind of thoughts. So you're signaling out there, it's already done. And that's what you're meant for. And then that whole creation process happens in no time, because time is just an illusion anyway. And the question is, what kind of idea do you have about time? What do you believe about time? That's a talk for another time though. So then you're showing up. But again, when you're showing up, when you're doing your part, it's important that you act in alignment, that you act inspired, in spirit, being connected to you. So that is co-creation, and this is when you are plugged into your own power. And the universe, God, the field, responds to you being in your power. And you being in your power means that you are greater than what you're seeing out there. That you are actually seeing the invisible more than you're seeing the visible. And when you're seeing the invisible more than the visible actually starts to disappear. Because you're no longer fueling it. And the invisible starts to become visible. And then bam, it's there. And you just created some big time magic. So I want you to co-create. I don't want you to sit there waiting for something or someone to start shifting. I want you to own your power and start shifting matter with your energy, because that's who you are and that's what you're doing all the time. But I want you to do it more powerfully, to really from a state of being limitless. And that's what I'm inviting you to do. I'm sending you much love.